Hello again. Today I want to chat about overwhelm, a term that we have become, unfortunately, a little bit too familiar with in business today. So I want to share with you some leadership tips that might help you motivate an employee that is feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling buried in tasks. They're just unable to fulfill their daily responsibilities with the joy and fulfillment that they once had. It's great to meet you. My name is Tara Lee Gerlitz, and I'm with Next Level. We're a leadership consulting firm that works with executive teams, and we really help remove the invisible barriers that are holding you back from achieving your most important strategic goals. Researchers found that in 2023, approximately 1 in 3 employees felt overwhelmed and frustrated at work. It is not a wonder that new studies coming out all the time are showing that our mental health and our well-being at work continues to decline. As a business owner, a wife, and a mom, I get it. I know how it feels to be drowning in tasks and feel like you're burning the candle at both ends. So if you look up online how to combat overwhelm, you'll find all kinds of valuable tips like flexible work arrangements, training and support, breaks, time off. And while these are helpful, I want to look at things a little bit differently through the lens of leadership. So if you caught my last video where I talked about some of the causes of employee disengagement, you'll recall that I believe leaders have a significant influence on how their employees feel day in and day out at work. By the end of today's video, I'm going to share some tangible and practical steps that you can take to support your employees. I'm also going to give you a link to download our brand new hot off the press employee engagement toolkit, a step-by-step leadership guide to improve your employees' experience at work. So my first leadership tip is to eliminate confusion from your leadership team about what is most important. Leadership is like a waterfall. Whatever is going on at the top is going to cascade down throughout the entire organization with increasing energy. So if your leaders are not crystal clear about what is most important, then your employees are going to be running around nonstop, unsure about how to make trade-offs in their work. If everything matters, nothing does. Too many priorities leads to mediocrity, silos, confusion, and struggle. As leaders, you're creating an environment where your people are literally working against each other. Clarity allows employees to prioritize their tasks, to identify critical responsibilities, to set realistic goals. This clearer roadmap will make their workload seem more achievable, and they're going to have more fun in the process. So I worked with a client who had a fabulous culture. They were a fantastic client to work with. Team members truly drank the Kool-Aid. They loved representing the brand and serving their members. However, without identifying their most important leadership priority right from the top, they were caught up following shiny objects, and they just had too many projects and too many events running at the same time. So although there was lots of excitement amongst their staff and their employees, they were just really feeling too pulled in too many different directions. So after we worked with the leadership team and helped them identify their thematic goal, or we call it a rally cry, then they were able to use this clarity to help make decisions. It kind of became a filter. So they recognized that they were spreading their resources too thin, and instead they started to be more selective about the type of projects that they took on, and they only picked the ones that were truly moving them towards their goals. My next leadership tip is to communicate. Once your leadership team has made those important decisions around what's most important and they're all aligned, then they need to be sure to tell their employees clearly, repeatedly, and enthusiastically. Research shows that people need to hear things 5 to 7 times before they actually believe it and take action on it. Repetition is our friend. However, as leaders, myself included, we often shy away from it because we make assumptions that people hear and that they understand everything that we say. So let's all wear our CRO hats and lean into being chief reminding officers. Your employees have a lot on their plate. They have a lot of noise in their day. Your job is to tell them every day what is most important so that they can use that information to sort and filter their responsibilities. So back to my previous client story, after they recognized that identifying a rally cry was important and helpful, they realized that everybody needed to hear that message, and they needed to hear it clearly and loudly and frequently. So they intentionally kept their messages really simple, really clear, really uncomplicated, and they communicated this message across a variety of mediums. So they announced it in person at their town hall. They talked about it in all of their team meetings. They shared it out across their Slack messages. They even posted it in their bathroom stalls. It took a little bit of time, but eventually team members started to get it. They started to understand. They started to share in the clarity that the leadership team had created amongst themselves. They started to recognize which projects were more important. They knew when to say no to requests, and they were better able to wrap up their days feeling accomplished and satisfied with the work that they had done. My final leadership tip to combat overwhelm is to take time to engage with your employees. Uncover what's going on for them and ask for feedback on what they need, and ask how you can help. I love the analogy that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and this is a great reminder for leaders to listen twice as much as they talk. That's certainly a lesson that I try to remember. I was listening to a podcast this morning by Patrick Lencioni and his Team at the Table group, and they shared a great activity idea that you could run in your next team meeting that would help you do just this. So in the context of work, invite each team member to share one thing that they want more of and one thing they want less of. What a great opportunity to spark some very real, practical, and vulnerable conversations about what parts of people's roles they want to lean into more, where they feel they have lots of value to contribute and the type of work that really brings them joy and fulfillment. These are likely not the tasks that are causing them stress. It also helps them identify the areas where they feel they need some more help and some more support, where they need some clarity, or perhaps there's just somebody else on the team that's better suited to take over that task. I'm sure they're going to love passing off those responsibilities that are causing them the most frustration, and truly in service of somebody else that finds that work joyful. Creating a platform for individuals to share what they need and following through with solutions can really go a long way to decreasing employee overwhelm. I'd love to hear where you see an opportunity to motivate and inspire your employees. So please share some comments on what some of your takeaways and next steps might be. This is a great time of year to check in as a leadership team. Are you confident that you're aligned on what's most important? And are you communicating these messages consistently and regularly to everyone on your team? Are you wearing your chief reminding officer hats and really helping your employees align and prioritize their daily workload? Give your employees the filters to make great decisions and give them the permission to focus on the areas that are going to be most important and where they're going to have the most impact. Click on the link in the description below and you can access our employee engagement toolkit. It includes a really simple leadership exercise that will immediately improve the work experience or the experience at work that each of your employees are having. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. We're chatting next week about the impacts of employee disengagement. And of course, I would love to chat with you about how we can help your leadership team create some clarity and alignment in 2024. Bye for now.